Hey, welcome back. I'm Ferrikster, here to bring you some more Pokemon Go GBL battles. These battles are played in Fighting Cup, and it's actually kind of a good meta. I mean, I was expecting it to be terrible. I think everyone was expecting it to be terrible. The top-ranked Pokemon in it were supposed to be very, very inaccessible, like Buzzwole and Sneasler, which you have to have like a sub-level 17 alt to get. Like, it was not looking like it was going to be a healthy meta at all, but it's actually kind of nice because nothing in the Fighting Cup hard counters anything else. Everything in Fighting Cup is just a soft counter to other things. So really, all of the games kind of come down to managing shields and energy really well, so you can outplay your opponent if you have, just a little bit cleaner play, better tactics, a strategy for how to get through this match. There's no games in these sets that are just me hard countering my opponent or my opponent hard countering me. It's just all good decision making, and that's been really refreshing because we have not had that in a while. Anyway, I have built what I would say is an incredible team. I went on a really super strong 16-game win streak, and this 16-game win streak starts in the 2900s. So these are being played at a pretty high level, and it's a super consistent team, and it's just made with Pokemon for the most part that anybody should be able to build without like too much difficulty, or at least the two important Pokemon in it can be built by anybody. But let's get into these games. So I am leading with Hakamo-O. I'm not sure if it's Hakamo or Hakamo, but I just want to pause for a second so you can admire the CP. So the Hakamo-O that I'm using is at 1476, which means it's 2 levels away from being built. So, like, I ran out of rare candy because I don't really raid that much, and I couldn't even finish building my Hakamo-O. So I know for sure that any Jangmo that you've hatched will be fine. Because the IVs definitely don't matter, because I'm doing these 16 games with a Pokemon that's not even fully built yet. It's not even finished. And I'm also single moved, which doesn't help either. So this first game is a Hakamo-O mirror where we both just end up fast moving each other down, and no one wants to throw a move because if you throw a move, you lose. Switch. And then they end up bringing out a throw, which is nice for me because I didn't end up sending in my Toxicroak. I ended up sending in a Buzzwole. So, I was like, oh, Ferrikster, you said that this team is very accessible. The important Pokemon on this team are actually Hakamo-O and Toxicroak. I would say Toxicroak is the best Pokemon in this meta. Like, the hardest counter to it, Throw, is terrible, so almost no one is using it. And everything else, like Toxicroak, will usually be able to survive one hit from something and be able to take something out in one hit. So it'll win the zeros against a lot of things, and it can win the ones against a lot of things. It's just overall a really phenomenal Pokemon in this meta. So my Buzzwole goes down, and the Toxicroak that I'm running here, by the way, is a rank 1 Toxicroak, which helps against the throw matchup, but anywhere else it's probably not great. Like, you probably in such a condensed meta would want a Toxicroak that'll win CMP against the other Toxicroaks, and that would be helpful if I had that, but I only have the rank 1, so this isn't really like the most optimized IVs. And the Hakamo that I'm using is like a rank 600 and something, and again, it's still 2 power-ups away from being built and is single moved. And I mean, my Buzzwole is fine, but if you don't have a Buzzwole, you could play a Shadow Machamp there, or anything with counter. I would say anything that is using counter would be good. If you have a Galarian Zapdos, it would be amazing in that slot. But like a Heracross or a Shadow Machamp, I would say would be great substitutes. So, into this game, I have noticed that a lot of my opponents seem to be running Double Dragon, whether they're running it ABB or ABA. It's just so many people, I don't even know how they got a Kamo-O this low. Like, you have to have found a Jangmo in the wild. Whereas Hakamo you can just, power up a Jangmo that you caught from an egg. It doesn't have to go like it goes to like level 36 or 37 probably. So it's kind of expensive, but I mean, everyone has you have the ingredients for it if you've ever hatched a Jangmo. And again, the IVs on Hakamo definitely don't matter because I'm doing this win streak and I'm 2 power-ups shy. So, I mean, in terms of stat product, mine probably has less stat product than like a rank 3000 at this stage. And it still works just fine. So anyway, so these first 2 wins are part of a 4-win set that I, left and then decided to claim after the Zacian and Zamazenta came back into raids because I was hoping, maybe if I don't claim the set yet, I'll be able to get one of those for my reward. But I ended up getting an Absol, and like that's fine. But yeah, so this was a 4-1 set, but I'm only showing you the last 2 games because I lost game 3 in the middle. I was still kind of learning my team. But I go up to 2973. All right, let's hop into this next matchup. So, Hakamo Mirror. There's not like... even I haven't yet decided on a perfect way to play this out. I kind of play it out by feel. But this is what happens when the opponent throws first, right? The opponent throws a Dragon Claw. You will always get your move snuck in. That means that if you just keep dragon tailing down, you'll take them out with enough energy to throw a Dragon Pulse, and I would throw a Dragon Pulse if I had it, because, your opponent's supposed to sneak a move in when you throw, although sometimes it takes 1 turn when they bring in their Pokemon, so you'll get to throw 2 Dragon Claws, but on the whole, if you can afford to put Dragon Pulse on your Hakamo, then I would probably usually not throw anything and then throw the Dragon Pulse afterwards, because then you'll get back your shield and you'll have alignment. The only problem is that if your opponent brings out a Toxicroak, which is the best Pokemon in this meta, the only thing I can really do is send in my own Toxicroak and then hope that I can catch a move on Buzzwole. Because if I can catch the Mud Bomb on Buzzwole, that's amazing for me. But, if I had a Heracross or a Shadow Machamp, you'd still be able to catch the Mud Bomb, and it would still be fine. It's like, again, Buzzwole is supposed to be very, very good in this cup, and it's definitely good in this cup, but it's... not having Buzzwole should by no means keep you out of Fighting Cup. It's not the most important member on this team. Hakamo and Toxicroak are such a good pairing. There's a few games where they basically carry, and literally any Pokemon in the back that has counter would be able to clean up. But yeah, I managed to take that game. That's a GG. All right. So Hakamo into Toxicroak. So it's 6 counters to the Mud Bomb and 8 to the Sludge. So, if you just throw 5 Dragon Tails, they won't be able to be at a Sludge Bomb yet. So you can throw the Dragon Claw then. And if they no-shield it, then they're very clearly going to go for the Sludge Bomb. So, can very safely shield this. I have a little bit of energy already, and they should just let me counter them down. But they decide to swap out, and I'm fine with that. So I'm going to just throw my Dragon Claw. If I had Dragon Pulse, I would have built up 2 and thrown one of those. And I switch out, but my Hakamo is not going to be able to get to another move, so maybe I should have just stayed in and thrown 1 more Dragon Tail and just let myself get countered down. That way I'd be able to swap out at the right time. Here I make another weird decision, which is going for the Power-Up Punch. But I guess that actually worked out fine because I was just barely able to counter them down. But now I'm going to get countered down by whatever comes out. Probably would have been better to not throw that, and then I could have just committed and thrown a Superpower when Hakamo came out. Again, still kind of learning my way around my own Pokemon. I had never really used Buzzwole up until these games. But yeah, so I'm just going to bring my Toxicroak out into this Hakamo, and at this point, because it's already taken so much damage, I can just throw a Mud Bomb, and then I managed to catch this Dragon Tail, which is actually a pivotal catch that I needed to make to secure this match. They try to catch a Mud Bomb, but they're a little bit too early, and I am free to just go for the Sludge Bomb for just a little bit of BM, just, to make it a point that they, that I had it. So that's a GG. But that was a really close game. And I definitely misplayed that with Buzzwole a few times. I should have just countered down and superpowered. I don't know what I was doing. All right. Hakamo into Sneasler. So there was a lot of hype about Sneasler when this cup first dropped. Everyone thought it was going to be so strong. And it's actually just okay. Like, I would say Toxicroak is a much better Pokemon. Like, that Sneasler throws one of it, throws its Aerial Ace first, and it doesn't even get to the next Aerial Ace. Or it gets to it, but it goes down with it. Wasn't able to throw that. Like, they could have thrown an X-Scissor if they had it, but it just wouldn't have been. You know, they probably are running close combat. And, yeah, so I just countered the whole way down. I end with 2 Dragon Claws. So I'm able to get a shield off of the opponent's Hakamo, and I am just going to let this go. Oh, I guess I'm not. Buzzwole, I mean, I should have let that go. Like, what if they had a Toxicroak in the back? Ferrikster, what are you doing? So yeah, Buzzwole is fine, but kind of does get walled by a poison type. Luckily for me, there wasn't a Toxicroak in the back. It was just a Hitmonchan. This Hitmonchan fire punches me, takes me out. But, yeah, I'm going to be able to send in Toxicroak, and this Hitmonchan can't really know anything that would one-shot me, so I'm free to just counter down, and I am going to Sludge Bomb the Hakamo that's in the back that's already injured. So survive that. Just going to throw this. You don't actually have to move your finger at all to hit the bubbles for a poison move, same as fire. And I managed to take that game. Just, you know, saving up my energy and nuking what was in the back. That is a GG. Next up against Zelensky 0. Hakamo into Heracross. So Heracross is kind of an interesting pick for this cup. I feel like its bait move of Rock Blast isn't really ideal, and I decided to throw the Dragon Claw here just so that I could get it in before they can get to anything that could possibly hurt. And since they let it go, I decided, okay, I'll just shield this. It should be a close combat, because if they Rock Blast after no shielding, they won't be able to get another one out anyway, so no reason for them to throw a bait. And they switch out into Tox, which is kind of a problem. I'm going to throw this Dragon Claw. They shield, that is helpful, but I'm just going to try to do whatever damage I can, because this Tox is definitely going to be able to outpace me. I'm going to send in my own Toxicroak. I tried to catch a Mud Bomb, but like obviously my Tox was way far away from move, so there was no reason for them to throw. And then they baited against my Buzzwole anyway. Buzzwole would survive a what's it called? A Sludge Bomb, but I don't know why they baited there. So the second move, they ended up throwing the Sludge Bomb, but they weren't going to get to another move anyway, so, you know, I was free to shield that and just counter the whole way down. Now I have a bit of energy left over, and they still have a Pokemon here coming out. They bring out their Hakamo. Oh, I'm going to throw a Power-Up Punch just to kind of buff how much I'm doing with my counters. They actually switch out, catch the Superpower on Heracross. So amazing catch for them, but I mean, again, I've got a Toxicroak. Toxicroak will survive a move from Hakamo. They're about to reach a Dragon Pulse, so I actually have to throw this here, because if I didn't, they would Dragon Pulse me and take Toxicroak out. I assume that my opponents have, like, you know, 2 moves. So they throw one more Dragon Tail, and that means they're at back-to-back Dragon Claw. It doesn't quite take me out, though, so, I mean, you know, I'm going to also survive a Dragon Tail from here, so they're forced to throw their next Dragon Claw, which does take me out, but now they're energy dry, and my Buzzwole is able to counter down before they're able to take me out. That is a GG. That was a pretty close game. All right, hopping in against Cracked Set, who is in the 3100s already, so this is quite the up pair for me. Who is opening with Galarian Farfetch'd, and I mean, I don't think Galarian Farfetch'd is a good Pokemon in this meta. Like, Fury Cutter is resisted by everything, so it's basically working like a bug-type lock-on in this cup. I decided to let this go because I just don't want to get baited, and even, you know, they've already gone down a shield, and, you know, once you go down a shield in this cup, I could bring out, you know, like, I bring out Buzzwole here so that I won't have to shield again. And because, you know, I was hoping maybe he would just counter down before they'd get to another Brave Bird anyway, so I'd be able to just, you know, safely no shield. But, yeah, they switch out into Poliwrath, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to let the first move go and then shield the second. If this is a Scald, it would take me out. If it's just an Ice Punch, then that's fine, and I'm going to be able to counter the rest of the way down. Now I have Buzzwole with a bunch of energy, and the only thing that can really wall Buzzwole's energy sort of would be like a Toxicroak, and that's what they bring in. And Toxicroak will resist everything that Buzzwole knows. It's one of the weaknesses of running Buzzwole. But, you know, like, even the resisted superpower, just because Toxicroak is kind of squishy and Buzzwole hits kind of hard, everything in this cup kind of does. I go double superpower, they let it go, and now they bring out their Farfetch'd, which just applies no fast move pressure. So I can just no-shield this Leaf Blade, it's fine, and I can just bring in my Toxicroak and just counter down. And manage to take that game. That is GG. I don't like Galarian Farfetch'd for this. But yeah, like, after they had to shield, and then I could just no-shield, even if they Brave Birded, they would then have to switch out of something, so I'd have, like, the choice between two Pokemon that I could leave in, because them leaving themselves in to get farmed down would be even worse for them. It's just, if you're not able to bait shields with Galarian Farfetch'd, it just does not really get that much done. So it's a very hit-or-miss Pokemon, not really the most solid thing. But that was a very clean 5 out of 5, and I go up to 30-49. All right, Hakumo into Poliwrath. So Poliwrath, you know, knows Ice Punch. That's one of the main perks. It has Ice Punch for the dragons. But I'm going to no-shield the first move anyway, because even super effective Ice Punch just doesn't do that much. They actually throw a Dynamic Punch, which I was not expecting at all. So after that, I'm going to throw one Dragon Tail, and then I'm going to throw my Dragon Claw. This is going to hit for neutral also, and it does that much. They swap out into a Toxicroak, and I think I see that using Poison Jab. Am I seeing that right? But, oh yeah, they're throwing Poison Jab. That's... So, I mean, Poison Jab is a decision that you could make, because there's a couple of things in this cup that will resist fighting, but, like, even looking at it, my resisted counter does almost as much as a, you know, as non-resisted Poison Jab. Poison Jab is just not a good choice in this meta. But yeah, I am just going to be kind of greedy, build up as much energy as I can, not throw my moves until they're about to reach one of theirs. Forced to throw this Mud Bomb at that point to take them out, but I'm pretty close to getting to another move. So the Hakumo-O comes out. I am just going to throw this Sludge Bomb. It is going to do a ton of damage, and then I'm going to switch out to my Buzzwole that I have in the back. And it doesn't really matter what Pokemon I had back there. Anything with counter would have been able to counter down in this situation just fine. Going to throw a Power-Up Punch, just counter down this and not debuff myself, and my opponent is going to resign the game. That is a GG. All right, up against Maxter Knight. Hakumo into Throw. So Throw is bad. It's supposed to be like a hard counter to Toxicroak, but even then, if you have a rank 1 Toxicroak, which I do, then I'll still win the ones, but you'd have to bait Mud Bomb. It's a Pokemon that's supposed to hard counter Toxicroak, and it barely does that very well. Like, it's a soft counter at best. Like, Toxicroak with an energy lead can find a win condition. Toxicroak that baits and has really good IVs can find a win condition. And Throw is just so slow. It takes 6 Zen Headbutts to get to the Body Slam, and that's the only move that it'll likely ever throw. Like, I tried running it for a set, like, the other day. It was horrible. So I'm going to bring out my Buzzwole into the Hakumo. I will usually bring out the Pokemon that is not Toxicroak into a dragon, just because, you know, I'm going to save my Toxicroak in case they have a Toxicroak in the back. You know, if they have a Toxicroak in the back, setting out Buzzwole will end up prompting them to bring that in. Whereas nothing really walls Toxicroak, especially since I've already seen Throw in this game, and Throw's already been taken care of. So I'm going to shield this because it could have been a Dragon Pulse, and I am just going to counter down the Hakumo. Kama-O is going to come back out, and Kama-O, if you're able to get it, I still wouldn't recommend Double Dragon. There's so many people running Double Dragon. I swear, Double Dragon just isn't that good. It's like, I saw so many people talking up teams running something with Double Dragon or ABA Dragon. It just doesn't make that much sense. Like, counter is such a good move. Dragon Tail is a good move also, but I mean, it's not counter. Like, counter is an amazing move. Guys, it's so good. So, I'm going to no-shield this Mud Bomb. I mean, I know it's a Mud Bomb. They weren't quite built up to the Sludge Bomb yet. And now I am just going to throw my next Dragon Claw. They decide to shield, and I am totally fine with that. I'm going to still reach another Dragon Claw. They win CMP, but I mean, they're throwing their energy to get this done, and I have 1 HP. So, like, this Toxicroak is dry. I bring in my own Toxicroak to farm. Now I've got a 2-shielded Toxicroak with energy. They bring out my champ, which, I mean, is going to win CMP, so I'm just going to throw this Mud Bomb first, which isn't enough to take my champ out, so it's still going to be able to throw. Like, this is a cross chop, but, I mean, I want to retain health on my Toxicroak because they brought out my champ at the Toxicroak. I don't know what else they have back there, but it's clearly not good against Tox. And I'm not even going to get to find out, and I don't need my Buzzwole at all, because Toxicroak up a shield with some energy, so amazing. Toxicroak with an energy lead against my backline, by the way, is also just devastatingly difficult to deal with. Toxicroak is so strong in this meta. All the hype around all these Pokemon that are so hard to get, like the best Pokemon in this meta, I swear it's in everybody's inventory already. Toxicroak's so good. So here I decide to throw the Dragon Claw. And they shield. I don't know how I won CMP. Like, you can look at the CP. It's still at 1476. Their Hakamo is fully built. I have no idea how I won CMP there. This Hakamo must have crazy low attack. Just must have amazing IVs. Which just, didn't end up really helping it that much, right? Like, you would be better off with one that was hatched. Just because you wouldn't lose CMP. Like, winning CMP can't be overstated how useful it is to be able to win CMP. And in a meta that is so condensed, having Pokemon that have really good IVs, it's helpful sometimes when you need to barely survive something. Like, I don't know if a non-rank 1 Toxicroak would have survived to make it to this Mud Bomb. Probably, because, I still have like 5 HP left over. But, yeah, able to counter down the throw, and I am going to be able to throw this superpower and just barely manage to survive in this game. Although I do still have 2 shields, so that's nice. But yeah, throw is so... I forget where I was. I know I went on an aside to talk about throw. Oh, IVs, yeah. IVs definitely don't matter that much in this cup. Use bad IV Pokemon, you'll probably be better off. Winning CMP, so much more important. So this is interesting, right? This opponent makes a catch. They swap out into their Toxicroak, catch a Dragon Claw, and I'm going to stay in because I'm just going to be able to line up and get another Dragon Claw out. This should force a shield out of them because otherwise their Tox will be like so low that it'll just go down in one counter. But even here, this Tox with its energy, I'm expecting that it's not going to be able to reach like 2 moves regardless, so I'm going to shield this, assuming it'll be a Sludge Bomb, because if they baited Mud Bomb, I don't know if they might have gotten to another Mud Bomb, but I definitely wouldn't have had to shield it. So it makes more sense to just throw the Sludge Bomb, so at least you can guarantee that you'll get a shield or do tons of damage. I'm going to let this Dragon Claw go, and this Kama-O is really close to getting to another one. Hakamo-O comes out. I'm going to build up to just 1 shy of a superpower, and then I am going to throw that. It is going to do a lot of damage if they let it through, and then I'm going to switch out to Toxicroak so that I'll still be able to throw 1 counter and get to another superpower if I need to. I am going to shield this because I think it could have been a Dragon Pulse. Maybe not. I don't know. They didn't throw another Dragon Claw. Maybe you know what? I wasn't counting just now, but me in the moment was definitely counting and knew that he was fine. No shield that. But, yeah, Kama-O is going to come back out, and they're just going to get countered down. Another double dragon team going down for another very clean 5-0. So I get a Shelmet, which is awful. Like, I really just want Zacian and Zamazenta. Like, it's just... I've even done a few raids for them, but also, like, getting those 3 rare candies is also super useful. I think those 3 rare candies actually enabled me to put 1 more power up on my Hakamo. So let me see if I'm up 1 now, finally, after like, this many wins. Yeah, I am. I'm at 1487. So now I'm still 1 power up away from being fully built, but I'm like slightly more built. So since they decide to throw the Dragon Claw, I'm going to shield it. That means I'm going to be able to just Dragon Tail them the whole way down. And if I had Dragon Pulse, I would throw the Dragon Pulse here, but I don't, so I'm forced to just throw this Dragon Claw, and then I'm just going to not be able to throw a second one, except that they sent out Poliwrath, and the Mud Shot did so little that I was able to actually survive it and throw another Dragon Claw, so for once, having to throw Dragon Claw helped me to do a tiny bit of damage extra this time. But, yeah, if I had Dragon Pulse, when I get 75 more rare candy, I will definitely add a second move to my Hakumo-O and be able to throw the correct thing. My opponent catches the superpower on their Heracross. Amazing catch. Fantastic for them. Bad for me because Heracross resists, all of my fighting moves. But that's all right. I'm just going to switch out into Toxicroak because Toxicroak resists everything Heracross knows, just like the way Toxicroak resists everything that Buzzwole knows. Like the bug fighting types just are, they get kind of, really walled by the poison types. Like, again, poison so strong in this meta because it resists fighting, resists bugs, like so many resistances, and like the only weakness is to the mud shots, but I'm able to counter down that Poliwrath and manage to take that game. That's GG. So, Hakumo Mirror. Let's see if my one extra power makes this mirror any different. It looks about the same as I'm used to. So I decide to throw here. I've tried playing this as the one who doesn't throw anything, the one who does, and they actually swap out into Toxicroak, which is super interesting. They're banking so much energy, which does make some sense, but their Hakumo has so little health right now. They're still not going to be able to throw two moves. Like they're banked with enough to throw a Dragon Pulse, but I mean, they're not going to be able to throw like two Dragon Claws against anything because everything that I have outputs enough fast move pressure that I don't have to worry about that. So I threw my Mud Bomb right before they were able to reach their next Mud Bomb because my Toxicroak will lose CMP to everything. I decide to no shield the first one, and I guess they actually were able to make it to two moves, so maybe I got outplayed there. But yeah, they switch into their Kama-O. I am throwing a Mud Bomb. I was throwing that kind of reflexively, assuming that maybe it would have been I was fearful that it would have been a Toxicroak in the back or something, poison type in the back. But no, it's just another double dragon team. So this is fine. I'm just gonna superpower the Kama-O and counter down the Hakumo-O and manage to take that game. That's a GG. But again, if you didn't have Buzzwole, Shadow Machamp would have done the exact same thing just now with a cross chop. It's just all right, Hakumo into Toxicroak. Let's see if my one extra power-up has improved this matchup either. Looks like probably not. So, yeah, they're throwing this at 7. So, if it's not going to turn out to be something weird, then it'll just be a Mud Bomb. And then they switch out into Kama-O, and I don't throw anything, but I really feel like I should have. I really don't know why I didn't. I should have just thrown my Dragon Tail. They would have almost definitely shielded it because it could have been a Dragon Pulse. They don't know that I don't have one, right? And by the time you're watching this, I for sure have built it. I definitely didn't only do 3 raids today, and therefore am still nowhere near being able to afford my second move. I've definitely got it. If you end up playing against me tonight, tomorrow, for sure shield, because it's the Dragon Pulse for sure. If I don't get enough rare candy, I'll just TM Dragon Claw away from Dragon Pulse, because that I end up wishing I had that half the time anyway. But yeah, so I end up with a Toxicroak left over, and I've got a bunch of energy that I farmed up from their Toxicroak. Able to throw one Sludge Bomb, and I'm just going straight Sludge Bomb here. No reason for me to risk throwing a Mud Bomb bait because I know I'm going to be able to reach 2 Sludges. Able to take out this Hakumo-O, and I still have a shield, so I just take that game. That is a GG. Toxicroak with energy, so good. If you can Toxicroak is so good in this meta. All right, Hakumo into Throw. Throw, to reiterate, is awful, and it's 6 Zen Headbutts to get to the Body Slam. So I am building up energy way faster than they are, and I'm doing damage at about the same rate, even though they're hitting me with something super effective and I'm hitting them with something that is hitting for neutral. Just, But, yeah, I'm going to throw that Dragon Claw, and I'm able to farm the whole way down. And if I had Dragon Pulse, I would throw the Dragon Pulse right now, right? But I don't, so I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw. And, if I had another power-up, maybe I'd survive this counter. I think if I had fully built this Hakumo, I would have survived that counter and been able to throw a second Dragon Claw and been able to do some nice damage, but I didn't. So instead, all I did was get 1 shield. And yeah, now I'm just going to bring out my Toxicroak into their Toxicroak. And I mean, you know, I'm just going to shield and I'm going to throw my Mud Bomb when they're like 1 or 2 counters away from reaching their next Mud Bomb. That way I have, you know, an energy lead if they decide to let it go. If they shield, that's also fine. I'm not going to try to CMP with them because I know I'm going to lose it. I'm just going to build up past it. You know, I don't know. I don't know the IVs that someone else has. And here, I'm going to throw it kind of early because I'm worried that they're going to try to make a catch or something, and I just really don't want them to make a catch. There's nothing out there that's really going to be able to wall me at this point. And it's a freaking Galarian Zapdos. Galarian Zapdos is amazing in this cup if you've got it, but, like, nobody does except this person. But, like, Galarian Zapdos also has only moves that debuff, and it takes forever for them to get to it. So, like, you know, I just threw my Sludge Bomb first and then swapped out after that because they'd have to throw a self-debuffing move in order to take out my my Buzzwole. And that means that I would have been able to just counter them down afterwards anyway. So, like, you know, that's GG. All right. Hakamo Mirror. So, this person's Hakamo actually, I think this goes differently. I'm not sure if it's because this one's, like, built even more than normal. How did this go? No, yeah, this one exactly the same. So again, if I had Dragon Pulse, I would just throw Dragon Pulse because I have like no health right now. But I don't, so I'm forced to just throw this Dragon Claw, and I don't have enough health to survive a counter because my Hakamo's not like done being built yet. So this Toxicroak survives with a ton of HP, and now I'm down a shield, and this Toxicroak has energy, which is terrible for me. I really needed the extra damage from that Dragon Pulse. I would have been able to just counter down from here. It wouldn't be in this situation. So at this point, my only win condition is probably to catch a Mud Bomb on throw, but my opponent anticipated the swap and also swapping in their Hitmonchan, which might know Fire Punch, and it probably should, but it actually just has Ice Punch, so at least I don't die to that. And, I mean, the Toxicroak has a Mud Bomb already loaded, and I have a rank 1 Toxicroak, so I already know I'm going to lose CMP. So my only play at this point is to throw the Superpower, but I really probably should have baited the Power-Up Punch, because if I had, I would have been able to counter this Toxicroak down, but I didn't, so I'm not able to. And they're able to get to this Mud Bomb, and that takes me out, and I take my loss, resulting in my win streak ending at 16. But that was still, you know, a pretty solid 4-1 set. And, yeah, I claim that, and I get a Phalanx. Like, give me the dogs, man. Why do I keep getting this stuff? And I claim that set, and I go up to 31-73. So, yeah, 16-game win streak, around Legend rank, climbing up to 3100s. I'm currently sitting around, like, 32 and change. And, yeah, still climbing with this team. And, I mean, the Hakamo... It's still not finished, but by the time you're watching this, it definitely is. But yeah, so that's my team, and those are my battles. And again, if you don't have Buzzwole, I've said this so many times already, just use anything else that has counter, because that's really, you're doing most of the work with Toxicroak. It's such a strong Pokemon in this meta, and just, yeah. Fighting Cup, surprisingly fun, and, you know, if you consider that your Hakamo's IVs clearly don't matter, because mine's not even built, and that, you know, Toxicroak, everyone has that lying around. You don't need a great IV one either, because then you can win CMP. Anyone should be able to play this cup. It's actually really fun. So if you haven't given it a try because you're just playing Open Great League, definitely suggest that you give it a shot. It's been really good. And yeah, don't forget to do the things that you know you're supposed to do at the ends of these videos. You know what you're supposed to do at the ends of videos. So please do those things. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys when I see you.